Snapey Snape, he's just one of those characters that you don't really like in the beginning of the story, and then it's revealed later on that he was a good guy all along, and you're thinking, that's why he did all that mean stuff, because that was secretly covered up good stuff, which means he's now my new all-time favourite character and a big smoking legend. Anyway guys, Snape actually is a really well written character, and in today's video we're going to go over a brief history of the man that was Double S. We're not going to go through his entire life, we're not going to go through every detail, nook and cranny. It's going to be highlighting the standout moments, the important moments, the moments that really shaped him into the man he was going to become. That's why this new series is all about a brief history of the character. Guys, before we start, I'd like to talk about today's sponsor, Surfshark. This company have continued to sponsor me throughout these difficult times, so I'd be very appreciative if you kept watching and hear what I've got to say, as this product is really beneficial for you all. Surfshark offer you an incredibly powerful VPN to protect your internet privacy. In today's computer age, hackers are constantly trying to gain access to your bank account details, your social media passwords, and access to your personal information, amongst many other things. This can all be prevented when browsing under Surfshark's protection. Not only does it protect your privacy, it also offers you a lot more. Different countries have different viewing restrictions on what content can be viewed. Therefore, by logging into a VPN based in another country, you can gain access to that content that may be blocked in the country that you live in. For example, I've always used the Australia VPN, but it's recently come to my attention that you can gain access to the Fantastic Beasts: The Crimes of Grindelwald movie on Netflix by using the Indian VPN, which is pretty cool. If you join Surfshark today, you'll get 83% off, 4 months extra free. You'll also be able to use Surfshark on as many devices as you like, there's no limits, and finally, there's a 30-day money-back guarantee. Basically, if you're not happy, if you're not satisfied, then your money will be returned. It's a no-brainer, guys. So sign up to Surfshark right now by clicking the link in the description below. So, Snape had quite an obsessive personality, which was quite apparent from a very young age. He knew he was a wizard before Lily did, and he took great pleasure in teaching her some of the things he knew, but he basically became obsessed with her the moment he met her, something that never really left him, even on his dying day. He threw himself heavily into anything that interested him. For example, he loved dark arts and almost perfected the craft, making several powerful dark spells, most notably Sectum Sempra, which could slice through a human torso like butter. He enjoyed potions a lot and ended up becoming top of his class and going on to actually teach the subject, such was his level of talent. When he actually got to Hogwarts, he really struggled to fit in. Lily was sorted into Gryffindor, Snape into Slytherin, and although they remained friends, they were separated from each other for long periods, which angered Snape. He was jealous but could never let it be known to Lily. However, Snape wasn't alone for too long, as his talent and skill did begin to stand out. He was hand-picked, hand-selected by Lucius Malfoy, several years ahead of him in school, to become part of the Slytherin fold, and it was here that Snape finally found his feet. Despite being bullied himself, he enjoyed the power that came with being part of Lucius' group, and he was quite useful to them. As the years went on, his hopes to win Lily's heart began to fade, as James Potter began to mature in Lily's eyes. Things came to a head, however, when Snape lashed out at Lily in anger, calling her a mudblood, something she never forgot, and to his greatest heartache, it was an argument that remained unresolved, as Lily would be killed after the birth of her son Harry. After graduation, Snape was recruited into the ranks of Voldemort's Death Eaters. He was fully prepared to incriminate himself by doing whatever was needed to be done, including fighting against Lily, James, his old classmates, and even his old professors. Could you imagine that? Snape and Lily facing each other on the battlefield. What a moment that could have been, but obviously, as we know, things didn't turn out like that at all. He was actually well liked, well respected and highly thought of by Voldemort, and placed himself in a prominent position too, not so far down the pecking order. However, upon learning that the prophecy foretold by Sybil Trelawney was actually about Lily, after he informed Voldemort about it in the first place, well then, that's when we see loyalty come second to love. Snape goes to Dumbledore and begs him to protect her. In exchange for the protection, he becomes a double agent for the Order of the Phoenix and begins spying on Voldemort. Unfortunately, Snape's efforts were in vain, as Lily and her husband were killed in their home by Voldemort in an effort to eradicate the prophecy. This all but secured Snape's complete and total loyalty to Dumbledore and the Order, as his love for Lily Potter was something far greater than anything Voldemort ever stood for. It's actually pretty noteworthy to mention that Snape played a crucial role in Lily's magical protection of Harry. Let me elaborate on that. James was killed at point-blank range, and no protection was given to Harry from his death. Lily was different, and here's why. Snape begged Voldemort to spare her life, and the Dark Lord agreed to it. Voldemort actually gave Lily the chance to live. He told her to stand aside. With Lily choosing death, choosing not to move, choosing not to stand aside, she waived her option to live and willingly died for her son, which is what protected Harry. If Voldemort had just used the killing curse on her straight away, then nothing would have happened with Harry and he'd be dead too. Snape had to live with that on his conscience, and he did. With the Dark Lord now gone, he served as Potions Master and was a rather good one, demanding the highest standards from his students. Only the best would excel in his class. When Harry Potter came to Hogwarts, Snape did his best to make Harry's life miserable, while secretly looking out for him in a weird sort of way. Snape just never seems to want credit for his good deeds. It was more out of his respect and love for Lily than it was his actual liking of Harry. Snape always remained somewhat in the background as the go-to person for advice, especially in anything that involved dark magic. He was highly respected for his opinion. He did display several examples of putting himself in harm's way in order to protect the students, facing a fully transformed Remus Lupin werewolf to name but one. After Voldemort returned, Snape did not immediately rejoin his services, which surprised the Dark Lord, and actually had many Death Eaters question his true loyalty. When he did go back to Voldemort, it was again as a double agent. He had already worked out a genius plan with the already dying Dumbledore to not only save Draco's life, but secure the Dark Lord's total trust in him. By killing Dumbledore himself, nobody would dare question Snape's loyalty again. He had also helped prolong Dumbledore's life by containing the curse to his hand, until the time was right for the headmaster to die. So that means Snape was completely back in there with the Dark Lord and had complete insights to everything. Sadly for Snape, it wouldn't be too long before he met his demise. As he was now believed to be the true master of the Elder Wand, it meant Voldemort would never have full control of the wand while Snape was alive. The Dark Lord even expressed his regret at having to do what needed to be done, as he thought Snape was a good and faithful servant in addition to being extremely valuable, but as he reasoned, only he could live forever. Snape could have told him the truth, that he wasn't the master of the Elder Wand, but he didn't. He wanted Voldemort to have that false sense of confidence, believing he was in full control, as he knew it would be a massive disadvantage. Snape willingly died when the time was right, when he could contribute the most, and it was his way of rectifying what had happened to Lily all those years ago. He died a villain and a traitor, thanks to his selfless efforts, and things would have stayed that way had Harry not seen his memories in the Pensieve, finally discovering the man Severus Snape truly was. Although I do believe Snape made amends for the acts he committed during the First Wizarding War, and obviously Lily's death, make no mistake, he still wasn't really a nice person. He done what was right, but he held a grudge, was very bitter, but I really feel he's one of the most complete characters from the series. There's nothing left unsaid about him. So everyone, that was a brief history of Severus Snape. Keep an eye out for more brief character histories coming from the channel. If you have a character you want to suggest, let me know in the comment section below. Do you even like these videos? Let me know in the comment section below. Thanks again, and I will see you all in the very next video.